It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey, guys. Good morning and welcome back. All right, guys. So I got up so early this morning. It's so weird to be in the place by myself. I know this is not what you guys asked for, but it is so weird to be in the house by myself. And I have so much energy. Normally when I wake up in the morning, my alarm goes off and Jason's like, no, and we'll like turn it off. And this morning I woke up literally, I think it was like 5:45, but I fell asleep so early last night, right after Jersey. And I was like, I need my 4 shots of espresso. I have to go do cardio. I want to get a little bit of tan on. I got to walk the dogs. I have shit to do because this is going to be a productive day. Guys, we're going to be back at 12:15 p.m. Eastern today with Zach Peter. It's just Zach and I hosting today, so it's not going to be a lot of talking over each other or chaos, but we do have 2 big announcements, 3 Bravo celebrities that we are announcing who will be joining us in our live shows. I can't wait to share with you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm not wearing black, so this is a good day. I mean, it's always a great day when I wear black, but whatever. Guys, 150 in the room. Don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And yeah, let's see who's in the room. I also saw where people were saying that Joe Mendoza was featured last night on Watch What Happens Live, and I want to know exactly what was said. So good morning, Marae. Good morning, Ayuko. Good morning, R. Petrick. Good morning, Rosemary, Jeanette, Brenda. Hi, everyone. Hi, Elaine. Okay. Hi, Donna Bell. I was number 50 today. Give this man a like. Yes, I agree. Donna Bell, you are just pulling at my heartstrings. Okay. Speaking of which, I have to show you a music video I was in called Heartstrings, where I was the love interest and they were trying to make me act. It was the worst. I mean, for me, it was the worst. Like, I cannot act. Getting back to it, we had 2 blind items today to kick us off. And of course, I want to touch a little bit on Teresa exiting last night's episode and the way she did. We're going to really elaborate on that with Zach, but I want to at least have something to talk about. And we have some OJ Simpson stuff to talk about. There's a lot. This morning when I kicked off, I know. This morning when I was getting ready, I had some music playing and I saw Jordan down in the wait list just dancing. And I think it's funny because I always have people ask me when I do the Q&As on my Instagram, like, Adam, what kind of music do you listen to? Is it country? What is this? And I'm like, absolutely not. No, I'm pretty basic. It's always like the top 50 on the charts on pop music. I don't know music. I just like what I like. And country, I love you guys, but that is Jason's genre. He'll play country all day, but then he screams at me for playing Cardi B because he's just a weirdo. He likes what he likes. I don't know. Also, guys, today is the day of Jason's grandmother's wake. So if you guys can, send some positive vibes and some love over to Jason. I see that we already have Georgia Carolina, Philly Diva. We have Team Catania, which is Krista Marie Miller. And we also have Trish Hobbs Phillips in the room. So we're kicking this off right, 200 in the room. Let's start with our first blind item. I mean, the first one is pretty obvious, in my opinion. Allegedly, Bravo Snarkside. Real Housewives of Orange County housewives' husband left because she was addicted to opioids and was caught buying non-FDA filler and Botox from a convicted felon because she wasn't paying back Allergen and other vendors. I mean, you guys can go off in the live chat, but I think we know exactly who this is about. In my opinion, obviously Dr. Jen Armstrong, which this is a very great photo of Dr. Jen. She's killing it in this photo. I thought it was funny when we did our recap last week and we brought on Jeff Epstein, Ryan Bailey, Jolene Lunzer with Zach and I. And Jeff Epstein was like, yeah, I'm on my way to go meet her. And I told her, I was like, you know, you're so interesting in real life, but you're so boring on the show. I was like, that is a true friend that can be able to say that, because I know the people that I know on the different shows. And if I said that to them, they'd be like, Adam, don't ever ask me for a favor. And we are not friends. Okay. Now, my next blind item that I want to bring up for you guys is this one right here. And I actually believe this. This is from Dumois, Anon, please. Real Housewives of Miami has been so successful that Peacock is actively looking into adding more cities to their growing list of shows. A franchise of the past may be making a big comeback. I'm guessing that would either be Dallas or it would be DC. I hope it's not DC because we already have Potomac. Just in time for 2024. Nashville, Chicago, and Honolulu are on the cards. Put it this way, Peacock is listening to the fans. Okay. All right. In the live chat, guys, would you like to see a Chicago, Nashville, or Honolulu? I think I would like to see Nashville personally, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. Now, we have to get into this OJ Simpson mess. I don't know what the hell is going on in the TLC world. I haven't really been in the TLC world for a second. I was watching 90 Day Fiance. I tried watching Darcy and Stacey. They annoy the hell out of me. Nothing against them, but just watching them, I'm like, I don't know how they have a show, and their ratings are killer for them. So kudos to them. I mean, their ratings are better than any other show on TLC. Again, I don't know how. I can't get through like more than 5 minutes of it. It's doing the most. It's dramatic. They're always on a 10. They're crying every episode. They have trust issues. They really need therapy, but maybe that's why people love to watch them, which is also kind of sad. But there was another woman on TLC who also people were questioning, where are you right now? We know we see you, but where are you in your mind? Like, we're talking to you, but are you there? And she came off as this woman who had these different med spas, and she said, I'm very successful. I'm successful in my own right. And she was going back and forth. She was on 90 Day Fiance the other way. And she had a boyfriend who obviously did not live in the States. And she was sending him a ton of money to pay for him and his family. She found out that he was cheating on her. And then she showed up to be with him. And then they got into a big fight. So she called his cousin and she said, you know what? Why don't you come over here and play? And then she was hooking up with the cousin. It was literally a shit show. But now we're hearing, and this is not confirmed, but it's alleged, that this woman right here, Stephanie, well, that she's allegedly shacking up right here in my hometown of Palm Beach County with this man right here, OJ Simpson. She put time to get in my quarterly post and, time to get some more sun. Okay. But then people were saying, you look so much like Nicole Brown Simpson. And she was actually getting upset with fans, like clapping back at them saying, I look nothing like her. First of all, Stephanie, let me say really quick, you don't look like her. Okay. You don't. But Nicole Brown Simpson was absolutely stunning. And the fact that you're even associated in any capacity with OJ Simpson, even though he was acquitted, but everybody has their thoughts on this, is scary as hell. She just loves to have, I feel like there are people in this world who really thrive off of being in a chaotic environment and having chaos around them. They like to be, I have some in my family. They like to be a victim all the time. They're always a victim, and they like to be stressed out, and it just is what it is. They don't really know how to navigate life without being any of those things, which is really kind of annoying. But for this woman, you can see that she really thrives on chaos if this is in fact true. It looks like she wants the shock factor, and she even said on 90 Day Fiance at one point that the man that she was going to see, that his family, they were sending her death threats if she didn't send them money. If I ever had a person in my life, like say Jason's family was sending me death threats, I know that's not you, Jason. I don't give a shit. I am moving on with my life. I am not taking the chance because people are scary. You don't know what anyone's capable of. And then you're going to be caught with this man in West Palm Beach, Florida, which is literally right over the bridge that I was just stuck at this morning for 10 minutes, which kind of pisses me off because it's supposed to go up every half hour and on the hour. And it was 8:15. So there was no reason, but I'll take that up with the city of Palm Beach. Never. The point is, what are you doing? And I want to know if you guys believe this to be true. She said that she's going to be coming back and forth to Palm Beach County. And we know that OJ Simpson is currently residing in Palm Beach County. I didn't know that until this. Actually, the other day, Jason and I were eating at a place called Juno Beach Cafe. It's this little diner. And there was a woman sitting next to us. And Jason's like, I know who that is. And I was like, who is that? And he said, that's the woman who took Tiger Woods to the bank when they found out that Tiger Woods, was cheating on her and had all of these infidelities. It was the woman who made out like a bandit with his money. And she was sitting right next to us. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But after living in LA, I got to sing happy birthday to Simon Cowell. So my celebrity dreams are fulfilled. I don't really Tiger Woods, I didn't know who that was, but kudos to you for making out with the money. Now, I'm going to bring up some callers before we get into some Bravo stuff. I want to know if you guys think this is true. Is Stephanie out there enough to be able to think that, hey, why not shack up with OJ Simpson? And honestly, for OJ Simpson, I don't know if there's like a line around the block anymore of women who would be signing up to be with him. I think everybody would be scared as hell. But I'm not going to just give you my opinions. I want to ask for yours. Guys, 320 in the room. Don't forget to smash that like button. Those 4 shots of espresso have kicked in. Let's bring up some callers. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I knew you were going to do that. Hold on.
For every serial killer, there is a woman.
I'll let you do your makeup and I'll bring you right back. Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning.
All right.
Morning.
Good morning.
King JD, Georgia, Carolina, Philly Diva, and Trish. Hi. Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
So I'm gonna go around the room. That way we're not cutting each other off. Yesterday I was sitting in the bathtub and my mom called me and she's like, "Did you see this?" And I was like, "Mom, that's not true." She's like, "Go to Yahoo News right now." And I went and I was like, I just filled up the bathtub. It was good. It had bubbles and all. And I was like, "Mom, I got to get out of the bath. I got to get off the phone. I have to do a video on this." Do you think it's true? I'm going to start with Georgia, Carolina and make my way around.
I mean, I personally have no clue who this woman is. God bless her. But I mean, it could be true. I really don't. I really don't know who this woman is.
Oh, you didn't watch 90 Day Fiance the other way?
No, I've never seen The Other Way, Halfway, Through the Way, Down Through the Fire. I've not seen any of these 90 Day Fiancés. The only way that 90 Day Fiancé came into my hemisphere was when the girl got fired for, the stuff that she got fired for. When the intersectionality of social injustice and pop culture happens, that's when I usually come into the picture.
Okay. Well, Trish, Philly Diva, does anybody watch 90 Day?
You did. Not me.
I've stepped away from it too. King JD, I'm going to bring you back up to, there was just a little bit of an echo and wind. But I've actually steered away from 90 Day Fiance too. But if you guys ever catch this woman, she was really interesting. She was very chaotic. She's very Sue happy. So I'm being very careful with how I'm describing her. But okay. I thought it was
traits.
What?
She has litigious traits.
Yes. Litigious traits. Girl. All right, Philly Diva. We like that.
Girl. That we like think about that episode of Girlfriends, but we'll talk about that later. Philly Diva. Clock that. Okay, clock your references, children. Period.
Okay, we'll get back to it then. If we're not big 90 Day fans, then I'm not going to keep you guys on this. I at least want to ask you guys if Peacock is planning on filling back up the roster of Housewives, adding new Housewives shows. We know that Real Housewives of Dubai will be our newest franchise, but it's coming to Bravo, not Peacock. And I could imagine that Peacock would start to build their roster. Honestly, I feel like Bravo will eventually not be on our TVs anymore. It'll solely be on the streaming service. I bet you that'll happen within the next 3 to 5 years. But would Chicago, Honolulu, or Nashville, does that interest any of you? Trish, I'll start with you, then I'll go to Philly Diva, and then Georgia.
Sure. I'd like to see any or all 3. I think, I don't know a lot about Chicago, so I think that might be fun. I remember when Mob Wives went from Staten Island over to Chicago, and I thought that was interesting because I don't know much about Chicago. Nash Vegas, well, I guess we'll get to see what Nashville's like here in a month or two. And then, of course, Hawaii. Who wouldn't want to live in Hawaii or see how they live in Hawaii? That would be fantastic.
I actually have a friend who, her name's Kelsey. She was in Cirque and she had this huge career. And then, of course, the pandemic hit and she wanted to become a stunt woman in LA. Unfortunately for her, she got kicked in the head and it's she suffered her 4th concussion. So she really can't at a certain point, they tell you, you can't keep doing this because if you get another injury, it could cause you to get brain damage. But I was looking at her feed the other day and I'm like, "Are you in Hawaii?" And she said, "Yes, Adam, I think I'm moving here." And I was like, "To do what?" She's like, "I don't know. I don't care. I'm obsessed."
To live.
To live.
To live.
Let's pay $20 for a bag of Doritos. To live.
And milk.
Oh, because okay, so when I did the Disney internship way back in the day, you get to meet people from all over the world, and I met this wonderful girl from Hawaii named Shana. Shout out to you, Shana, wherever you are. She explained to me the Hawaiian inflation. It is part of the United States. However, it is not part of the continental United States. So literally everything has to be flown or shipped in. So you are paid for transit. In 2001, just to give you, a sense of inflation and pricing, where we would pay 99 cents or $1 for the regular, personal bag of Doritos, they were paying $5 to $7 for that same bag.
Wow.
Even when Jason and I went on the Ellen DeGeneres, like we went to her 12 Days of Christmas, and at the end for the last gift, I know, Georgia, I know.
Sorry.
We went to her 12-day giveaway, and she gave away a trip to Hawaii, and it was a free trip. It was 5 days at this resort, and the resort was expensive as hell. And when we went, I remember we just were not in a place to even be on a vacation, but you have an expired time. And we lived in LA. So we're like, you know what, we'll go. And I remember sitting down at the restaurant the first day because we were waiting for our room to be ready. And I said, Jason, we need to get an Uber and go. Is there a Costco around here? We need to go to a Costco because this is like, we can't afford this. This is crazy, especially for 5 days. And when we went to Costco, just like Philly Diva said, and we know Costco has the best prices because it's all in bulk. It was so expensive. I have no idea how people can afford to live there.
That's another topic we can discuss on a not so lighter note. We can also discuss that because where there is inflation and expensive cost of living, there is the underbelly. So I don't want to bring, the channel down on this wonderful morning, but I would also like to see Hawaii and Chicago. Chicago's only done a few reality shows. There was one on Lee. I forget the name, but it was like a PR center type. Georgia, you know the one I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I do know what you're talking about.
Okay, so there was like this PR center show. There's been a few, but what Chicago has is fashion. They have winter fashion because it is so cold. It is amazing.
And it's so clean. I was so impressed with how clean Chicago was.
Chicago is beautiful. I mean, I would love to see something out in the Midwest. I love Nashville. Like my dad is in the South. He's over in Nashville, a couple hours away. But I love Tennessee. It is absolutely beautiful. It is amazing. It is, it can be diverse and it can be controversial and it can give you that juxtaposition of Bible Belt and liberal. It's just a really good place to, to set some dynamic storytelling up. So I would love to see it. But as far as OJ, I just really got to make this point really quick because I have read and listened to the books. I've seen every documentary. I grew up with the trial. He's been found guilty, so I can say I think he did it.
I thought he was acquitted.
Civil.
He was acquitted. So I think he did it. I read the book. I think he did it.
Didn't he do in his book, Philly Diva? Wasn't there something to the effect of there was a book about like if I had have done it, this is what I would have done?
If I did it.
I read the book. He did it.
I'm actually waiting on my copy to come from Amazon now because this one,
I know.
Oh, baby.
By the way,
sorry.
Georgia, you manifested this because you showed us your book, and all of a sudden I'm like, I haven't heard or talked about OJ in so long. The only time I hear his name is when it's associated with the Kardashians at this point. I remember all of the chaos with him, but I just haven't heard about him. And then when my mom called me, I was like, what?
The thing is, OJ keeps a low profile. Like, even between his trials, OJ himself, the man, keeps a low, like, unless he's trying to promote something or he's trying to get in favor, the man keeps a low profile. He goes to the golf course, he smashes women at the strip club, and, he does his thing in Florida. But until, like, when people, I don't want to say when people get around him, he still gets the women.
This is very odd to me.
For every Charles Manson, there's a woman to stab a Sharon Tate for him.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just
Well,
saying.
even people in jail get letters, and is somebody's? I hope that's not my phone ringing.
Oh no, I think that was Philly
even
Divas.
people,
She was getting a call.
Oh, okay. The Menendez brothers were getting offers of marriage when they were in jail. So yeah, there's some odd individuals.
Even Ted Bundy. Remember that?
That's who it was.
Kooky woman
That's what I was about to say.
who started visiting him in jail and was like, "I believe you. I'm going to marry you." And we know that Ted Bundy was apparently if you see the documentaries and stuff, they said that he was very charming and he had a charismatic way about him that like lured women in. And he didn't look like he would be. It's crazy. It's wild. The people that you see who end up committing these crimes, it's like I'm always looking at the person who looks like really jagged and kind of out there, and they're like the nicest people. And then it's like the really polished ones that are like, I have my gloves on.
Well, yeah. Ted Bundy was an attractive young man. So obviously OJ's situation is completely different. I wouldn't go near him.
Nor have I ever found him attractive.
He was found not guilty in the criminal court, but he was found guilty in the civil trial. So that's why if he makes any money, it generally goes to the Brown family or the family of the Ron. What was the other? Yeah, the Goldman family.
Oh.
Right. Now, if I had to choose, going back to the Real Housewives, if I had to choose one city, it would be, I think, Chicago out of the three. What about you, Georgia?
I would choose personally Chicago out of the three. I've heard a lot about Chicago and Nashville when it came to them around the time they announced Dubai. They were talking about like which city do you think it's going to be, and Nashville and Chicago were really brought up a lot. This is my first time hearing of a particular franchise in Honolulu, but I would love to hear about that inflation if they do film over there, because that baby
for me, I'm so excited to go to Nashville because I haven't really been, so I think it's going to be fun to I'll base it after I go to Nashville. But watching, I don't know, maybe you guys haven't watched this, but Kristen Cavallari from Laguna Beach, she had a show on E! Very Cavallari, and I always like really enjoyed seeing the homes. And there's a whole opulent lifestyle in Nashville too. There's a lot of people who have a lot of money. And for Chicago, I love the original Mob Wives that you mentioned, Trish, and I've even done a couple interviews with them. Yes, Renee Graziano and Karen Gravano. I've interviewed both of them. I loved that show, and they were like nuts in the craziest reality TV. Like they just did not care. There was no don't put your hands on each other. They were like, this is a lifestyle
for real.
Yeah, you talk out of your mouth, I'm gonna stab you. It's like, what?
Well, Love Majerski did stab people. I mean, I think she stabbed one of her ex-boyfriends.
Yeah.
She wound up going to Israel because they're one of like two countries that don't have extradition laws with the United States.
Is she still there?
Is she still? Oh, no. She came back to the United States and served. Yeah, then she served some time. And she was on the Mob Wives, but she got kicked off because she stabbed somebody. Like during filming, she
was the one that snatched up Carla by her full-blown hairline.
Oh, I remember that at the party,
I think
and they were like
Rita's party or Renee's party, and she bounced her head clean off that table.
I remember that because she walked up and she did that kind of BS, not the hug.
Girl, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah, which is my gosh. Okay. And when I saw Mob Wives Chicago, I wasn't into it. I'm not going to lie, but it's usually hard for me to. When I love one so much, like I'm already judging the second one based off of the first one, and I couldn't get into the Chicago ones. But
I didn't enjoy the Chicago one nearly as much either. And okay, can we talk about Drita? I live
it was Drita's
for Drita.
Thank you. I just she's the Hammers. I still follow her on Instagram. She's
the Hammers. The Hammers. That's right. I was coming out with the Hammers.
I remember when Karen and guys, don't worry, we'll get back on it. Don't worry. But I remember when Karen literally came into Giudice's house and she sat there talking crazy about Giudice's husband, and Giudice was looking at her with the eyes, giving the Ramona eyes, like, girl, you better not write this book. And Karen's like, it's my life. I'll put whatever I want in the book. She's like, I'm telling you, we're going to have a problem and we're not going to be able to come back from this problem if you put my husband's name in your book.
Her.
And I was like,
you remember the final sit down? Like the very last, they didn't even do a reunion. They just did like a final sit down.
Like she walks in, she's like, stand up, Karen.
Flew open. Bow. Get up, Karen.
Get up, Karen.
She just
ran
around the table and swung on. She dropped her purse on the table and swung on her. It was,
and then Big Ange, you know, I mean, if they just don't make them like Big Ange anymore, and saying how she had hooked up with a guy. He was in prison for murder, but he bought me a puppy.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring up another caller with us, a new caller who we haven't. I don't believe we've seen before. I'm gonna bring up Mike and then King JD. I see you in here, Bernice Jackson, and I'm also gonna bring back up Krista when we get on to the next one. I just want to see if Mike wants to chime in on this as well. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you great.
So yesterday was my first time watching, and I just have to say I really love this platform and what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, of course. I'm a huge Housewives fan, and I'm from Chicago, so I'm a little biased, but I think Chicago would be, I've always thought this. I think Chicago would be a great addition because there's so much culture in this city and so much to see and show. It's such a beautiful city, and like you said, it's very clean, which is really cool. Sorry, I'm also working.
No. I feel like most of our callers are, which is true because Mike, I was so shocked when I went to Chicago. We were going to see my fiance's family members, but when we went to the city, we were living in New York, and I love New York, but New York is so dirty. It really is. It's like the subways, the streets, like I love New York. It's just kind of a dirtier city. And then in Chicago, I was like, there's nothing on the ground. Everything's pristine. This is shocking.
I will say you can definitely find the dirty. I think Chicago does a good job of keeping the bright places clean, which is important. But I do think Chicago would be great. I mean, I know there was a rumor, and I read it online on Reddit, I think it was, where they actually piloted Housewives here in Chicago. And there was this woman in I forget where she was, but she was telling the story
about they were casting in that area.
They were casting, and they were trying to find ladies, but I guess the combination of women, there wasn't enough drama. They all got along so well, and they were going out to eat and stuff like that, and there wasn't any drama. There wasn't any. There was too good of a camaraderie for a Housewives show.
Yeah, that'll ruin it. That'll put the nail in the coffin.
Honestly, I don't think Bravo's vetting system has come far enough up to code to go to Nashville just yet. Mind you, I would love to see the opulence in Nashville, but we are in the South in this area, and with some of that opulence can come a little bit of controversy, if you know what I mean.
That's a good
So I don't know if Bravo is going to be looking a little bit. I don't know if they're looking far enough into these women to be going to Nashville just yet. Let's give it a year or two.
I would think Nashville might be too much like Dallas. I don't know. Nashville just kind of has that.
I was trying not to say that, but that was my thought. But that was because I didn't watch Dallas, so I didn't want to have a bias just because it's directly in the South. But that was my thought as well.
You know, when I lived in Tennessee, I went to college.
I mean,
in Tennessee.
I don't know that it's the South.
And sorry, there was a little echo. But when I went to college in Tennessee, I lived in a small town. And in my small town, it was only 3 miles long, and we had zero diversity. I remember my dad moved me there it was like 6th or 7th grade. I think I cried for like a year moving there from Florida, but we had zero diversity. And I remember when I showed up moving from Florida, there was like one new kid a year, and everybody kept asking me because they didn't even know the difference between, you know, like Hispanic backgrounds, whether it's if you're Puerto Rican, Mexican, Cuban, you know, like they had no idea. And because I had a Florida tan, everyone kept asking me, are you Mexican? I'm like, I'm I'm not Mexican.
Yeah.
I'm not. And it was just, we had,
I ain't gonna say that.
it was mind blowing to me
Georgia.
how kind of in a bubble everybody was. But then when I went to college over the mountain in Chattanooga, there was a lot more diversity. It was very diverse. So I think it's just the pockets of where you go in Tennessee. I'm curious to see Nashville when we go on our tour, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. If any, I mean, I know Memphis, Knoxville, they have diversity, a lot of diversity. I don't know so much about Nashville, but I'm not well versed on Nashville.
I think another thing about Nashville is I know they have the music aspect. There's a lot of culture, country music comes from Nashville,
out with a
right?
whole potential cast when they were about to announce Dubai for a potential cast, and it was basically the Real Housewives of country music, which I live for. But
yeah, I don't know that that's enough to garner a big enough audience to watch.
Yeah, I don't.
And then Nashville is
that seems very niche.
A great city, but it really is just a party city, and that's really it. There's really, I don't know enough about it or know.
So I'm gonna have fun when I go.
Yeah, you're gonna have fun for sure. It's country music everywhere. That's the diversity aspect is huge. In Chicago, you have
we're gonna turn it around here.
I'm obviously just advocating for Chicago, but
oh yeah, for sure.
I vote Chicago. I vote Chicago.
All right. So we have some Chicago and maybe a Nashville. All right. I'm going to go ahead and keep the conversation going. I'm going to bring up some more topics and drop you guys down, and then I'll bring you back up with some of our other callers if you're around. All right. Thank you, Trish. Hey, Mike, thank you also for being a first-time caller. Thank you.
Yeah,
if you're around, I'll bring you back up. All right. All right, guys, I also see, I see everybody still in the room. And Sarah, we have to bring you up too because Sarah's in the hospital and we don't know what's going on. Everybody wants to know, and I see that. Sarah, we hope you're okay. I did want to bring up a few other topics that are going on right now. First off, this one. Okay. So we heard that Sheree Whitfield, we know that she was filming with her man. His name is Tyrone. And when she was filming with him, something happened along the way where he got extremely pissed and he felt like they were trying to set him up to look like I think it was something to the effect like he was on house arrest or something. He was confined to his home and he could not leave. And they filmed a scene where Sheree was sitting at a diner or a lunch spot, and they wanted to make it look like he stood her up. He was pissed about this. He said, you guys are going to get me in trouble. If I show up for filming, they're going to see that. And then that's going to be a violation of probation. He obviously just got out of prison. That's how we got to know him. And we also heard rumors at one point he was with Nene Leakes, but who knows? That's a question for Tisa Taus. But now we're hearing that apparently they're back together. So Real Housewives of Atlanta star Sheree Whitfield is back with her man? What? And he's no longer suing Bravo? Because at one point he was threatening Bravo with a lawsuit. Looks like things have changed. Thank you, TMZ. We love the stamp. I want to know if you guys are shocked about this, but this isn't enough to bring up callers yet. Also, I wanted to add this in since we're talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kim Zolciak was on a rant. She wanted us to know because here's her and her two daughters. She is pissed off at the fans because the fans believe that, or people are commenting on her social media saying, why are you letting your daughters get plastic surgery and things done to their face? Well, she's mad because she said that's absolutely not true. My daughters haven't had any work done. The only work that they've had done is to their lips. Everything else is just natural. So she went on this whole rant and said, wow, I can't even post a picture of my beautiful baby girls, Brielle and Ariana, without nasty comments and assumptions. Let's be clear here. My daughters read your stupid ass comments. And quite frankly, I'm appalled at the fact that some of you are flat out computer bullies that are bored to tears and have nothing better to do with your time, or better to do than take time out of your day to write something negative. Can you imagine if you did something positive instead? My daughters have never, ever had work done other than their lips, period. Ariana has worked her ass off to get healthy and fit, and Brielle is only a few months out of a major jaw surgery. Jaw was broken in 5 places and couldn't chew food for months. So clearly Brielle lost weight during the process. Nobody had liposuction. That's absurd. I know it's hard to believe they are beautiful without any work done, but can you believe that they are even more beautiful on the inside? Trust that. So next time you want to write a nasty, rude comment, take a deep breath and remember what you give out in this world, you get back double. It's simply a boomerang effect. Guys, 500 in the room. Don't forget to smash that like button. I have to ask you guys in the live chat, she's obviously going to come to her daughter's defense. That makes sense. If I had kids, I would defend them too. But I don't know if I'm necessarily buying it. I don't care enough. Like, I don't care if listen, Kylie Jenner look at her face transformation. You know, if these girls, if you're co-signing on it and they're old enough to get work done, I don't judge. If they want to look a certain way or they want to look like little Kim Zolciak doppelgangers, that's exactly what they look like. But I want to know if you guys believe that it was just you guys are shady as hell. Shady. White Chick sequel. Okay. I want to know if you guys think that this is actually true, that they haven't got new work done, or if you think that they have. Sasuke said Kim's lying. Okay. Lips are still getting work done. Well, she acknowledged the lips. They all look the same. Brielle looks like a different person. I'm not buying it. Okay. Okay. Well, the people have spoken. All right. Another thing that I want to bring up for you guys is, well, I'm going to talk about it more, obviously, later today when we do the Real Housewives of New Jersey recap with Zach. But I want to talk about this moment from last night. We know that we were watching Real Housewives of New Jersey last night, and Teresa ended up getting a call from Luis Ruelas. She pretty much told producers to F off, because she was not here for them trying to film her when she was having a conversation with Luis Ruelas. Now, Teresa has understood this game for a long time. She's in her 12th season, and she's never really walked away from the cameras or walked away from an altercation or any of it. But now she's actually leaving. She's telling them to unmic her, stop following her with the camera. And her new guy, Luis Ruelas, who doesn't want to face the cast because his video came out that was a little cringy, but it wasn't so over the top as crazy as they made it seem. He doesn't want to face the music. He doesn't want to film with these people. He feels like everybody's out to get him. And when she said that I'm mic'd, he's like, turn it off, and kind of telling her what to do. Now, Teresa obviously comes off, and this is not an insult at all, but like a submissive, partner who really wants to be there for her man, cater to her man, make sure that he, is loved and has everything that he needs. She is that kind of wife. And when he told her turn the mic off, she was like, okay, this is my man. At the end of the day, if this show's not here any longer, I still want to make sure that I have this relationship. She's all in. Now, when he was saying that he wants her to leave and not film this scene, I was thinking in my head, this is crazy, Teresa. Then tell him not to show up. If anything, just say that he's not contractually obligated. He shouldn't have signed up for the show, and tell him not to show up. And if they paid him any money for his time on the show, if he has all that money, then just tell him to give the money back and that he will no longer be filming. I understand that that's probably going to piss producers off, but if you say that this is the Teresa Giudice show, then you should be just fine. We haven't seen a moment like this from Teresa before, not even when her husband was facing jail time, when she heard the cheating rumors, none of it. She's always filmed, never pushed the cameras away. I want to know what you guys think about this. Let's bring up some callers. Team Catania.
Hey.
Hi.
How are
Hi,
you?
Sarah.
How did that happen in a matter of 8 hours? Did you?
Well, no. So I've had some breathing issues like in the years past or whatever. But they've been like maybe every 6 months, and they only last for 30 minutes. And yeah, my pulse ox gets like to 84 or whatever. But this time it lasted longer. So I called my friend and had her bring me. And I swear, as soon as you say that that your chest hurts because you or like at 81, they're like, okay, well, so I have been like for every test, they are drawing blood for like the third time. It's ridiculous. So I need some distraction.
Hey, we're sending you all the love and positive vibes, Sarah. We'll distract you.
It was like really late at night. So like, what, how, I mean, like.
Yeah, it was like at 2:40 my time. So, anyway, but yeah, so sorry for the appearance. The COVID ward is the pediatrician or the pediatrics section. So, I got some colorful decorations.
You said Sarah's in the hospital. I'm like, wait, how, when? I'm like, how did that happen? Like.
Well, I know, and I was all like talking to both of you last night and was like, I can't wait to talk about Jersey. And now I'm like, she's MIA. But yeah, I actually really felt proud of Teresa and in a weird way when she was like, no, I'm going to protect my relationship. And, you know, because I do feel like a lot of times people let stuff come between them on the show. I mean, kind of like in Beverly Hills when Dr. Jen's husband didn't want to talk on camera. And also, I know Krista won't find this offensive.
What? I feel like he knows you got with a reality TV personality. Like we've seen this before with Vicky Gunvalson and Steve Lodge, where he tried to calm her down. But this is the person you're signing up to be with. And this is how she paid for the restitution, paid off her house, pays to put food on the table for her daughters. I mean, there has to be some respect for her career too.
Correct. But I agree. I think he tried to be respectful and say, okay, I'm going to do this. And then he got in and everybody's, I think in other, like in Orange County or Beverly Hills, I don't think people would have freaked out to his video the same way that the New Jersey guys do. And Krista, you know, that's not it. It's a different style. I mean, it's kind of like the way Dolores is like.
I could never hang out.
You know,
with them people.
Frank is like, oh, you didn't cry when we got divorced. I'm like, who doesn't cry when they are pregnant and their husband cheats on them and all this, you know? So I think it's just a different mentality. That's so I hear what you're saying. He agreed, but I think as he's gotten into it, he's been like, I didn't know what I was kind of like a first year housewife. I didn't know what I was getting into. I thought I did, but this is a lot more.
I didn't think it was that. She didn't really leave like in a huff. She just said, I'm not doing this right now. Leave me alone. I guess it's, to me, there wasn't anything like she did when she screamed and ran out when she was fighting with Jackie. She just said, he didn't want the conversation. She said, I'm mic'd before you say anything. I am mic'd. So it wasn't like he said, you're mic'd. I don't want you to speak. But I just think the conversation had to be off camera and they weren't going to leave her alone. So I think she just wanted to leave. And he's already said that, he understands this is her lifestyle, but that conversation wasn't probably anything to have to do with, it would have been something that wasn't anything that.
I'm kind of getting the vibe though, to be honest with you, that because people who, and this is nothing against anyone. Again, hold on. I want to acknowledge this really quick. So before it ends up disappearing, Poised Mesologist, thank you so much for the super chat. I was stationed near Nashville. I like the area, but not for a Bravo city. I'm excited for Nashville to meet Adam, Emily, Georgia, Zach, and Trish. Hey, thank you for the super chat. I just want to say about the whole, Louis thing. We see him where he's self-healing and everybody just dig deep inside and we can find the good, and people like that throw me off a little bit. I'm like, you're giving me a red flag, because for me, you're gonna know, and it's not like I wear it on my face. I just have one of those faces. You're gonna know if I'm happy, sad, pissed. I think I'm a revolving door at the plaza of emotions throughout the day. Jason always jokes and he's like, good morning, what Adam am I waking up to? And I'm like
a box of chocolates.
That's not the way to start this, Jason. So
you know what? You should say, Jason, you're lucky to have 5 handsome, kick-ass fiancés. So
I was gonna say, yeah, we had that conversation last night.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. Thanks. All right, I'm gonna bring up some other callers with us to chime in on this as well. King JD, are you back? I can't see you, but I would love to bring you up if possible. And then I'll also bring up Mocha Rain. Hi, Mocha.
Hi.
Let's see if King
I've
JD
never gotten to be on with Mocha Rain before. This is fun.
Yes. And then we still have Bernice Jackson, Mike in the room, Georgia, Trish, and I promise I'll get to everybody, guys. 550 in the room. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed, get subscribed to join our awesome live chat. Now, I'm going to ask Mocha and King JD, are you here? If not, I can just bring up. No? I'll bring you back. Okay. Mocha, I'm going to ask you the same thing that I was asking Sarah and also Krista. Do you think for Teresa, maybe she wanted to have a conversation with Louis off camera where she could talk him into, listen, we're going to go film. Don't worry. They're not going to attack you. And she needed that moment where they weren't listening in on her conversation to kind of coax him into it? Or do you think, no, you signed up for a job. This is within the hours of filming. You were told this time. You don't get to just walk off like that.
Okay, so I see what Krista and Sarah are saying, and like I get it, but at the same time, like this is the woman's job. Like she's gone through so much, and in one way, it's like, is it like you can't? I mean, it is difficult because it's like, in one way, do we see it as like, are you kind of picking your man over your job because your job's what's going to keep you and your girls going for how long for however long you can make it work.
Yeah, because I couldn't
Because
see her
that's
getting
the
kicked
other
off
thing.
the
Like
show.
she's gone from being a wife, and like she's still a mother, but like she's a mother that's now been able to be Teresa. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like she's starting to figure out who she is as Teresa, and that is so awesome, and I'm happy for her. But at the same time, you still need that independence, because when you go from being a teenager to then a wife and a mother straight away, you don't have time to figure out who you are. And that can be very testing. Like, if you don't know who you are, you can get to a certain age and then you look back and you're like, holy hell, how did I get to this point?
Right.
How did I end up in these situations? And like for a lot of women, and this is like a cultural thing all around the world, we're taught that his money is our money. We are taught to stay at home and work, like that has been ingrained in us since we were little girls. So when things go wrong and like your husband cheats, or you separate, or you grow apart, you end up with nothing. You
Right.
can end up with zero. I left my relationship with absolutely nothing except for what I brought in. Like I had to buy all new everything. And it was easier for me because I'm like, I'll end up with better stuff anyway. Like he needed it. But
I mean,
Jessica
really Simpson did the same thing.
Young.
Look how she came out.
Yeah. And it happens to everyone. Like that's the other thing. It doesn't just happen to us people who are like poor people, right? Like this happens to people with heaps of money. And look how much she lost from what happened between her and Joe.
Right.
She could have lost everything, and yet she managed to get out of jail, make a whole bunch of new money, pay off all her debt, his debt, fix up the house so she could sell it, and put these kids through school and college. That's a lot. That's a lot for one woman to do, all on her own with 4 daughters. So that's why I'm like, I want her to keep working, and like he, at the end of the day, like you said, Adam, he knows that she's Teresa Giudice, the stable, the main one for New Jersey Housewives. This is her position. She's held this job while she was in prison.
I mean,
how many people can do that?
I don't think she's losing her job. Like she didn't quit her job.
No,
right?
but like it's the fact that
he didn't ask her to.
She has to be mindful too. Like at the end of the day, is this relationship always going to be around? Like you don't want to think like that, but sometimes you have to still maintain some sense of reality. Like you can be in your love bubble, but know that at some point it might not work out.
See, I
She
think
also didn't.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, Adam, something you said earlier made me kind of think back. This wasn't like when she told Danielle to pull Margaret's hair, and she was like, "You're not gonna air that, this or that." So you're right. She may have been more like, sorry. She may have been more thinking like, "Hey, let me go talk to him," rather than being like, as irate as she was before, saying, "No, don't air this, don't do this or that." So,
I'm going to let T Talk with Shaw chime in on this one too. But I want to say about Teresa, I feel like everyone is watching, and now everyone in some weird way, because we're all invested. We've watched Giudice from like the little girl. Now she's like taking shots on Watch What Happens Live. I feel like people are genuinely invested in her life, and they care to the extent that they're going to be very defensive over whoever this new man that she's bringing around her family is going to be. I'm going to bring up Shaw real quick.
He's not new, and they're in love, and she's happy, and she doesn't want people to like already start like ending her relationship before they even get married. She feels like everybody's like writing them off And all it was her not wanting to have a conversation for the whole world to hear. And it's one conversation, like out of a million that they would have on camera. I think she's owed one, right?
Team Catania is coming through. You should be Team Giudice. Tea Talk with y'all. What is your opinion on this? And good morning.
Good morning. I always have an opinion on Jersey. So I agree with Sarah. I really feel like this is Teresa's attempt to kind of keep everybody we love Trey. To keep everybody out of her relationship. And she didn't know at the time she was mic'd what the nature of the call was as an engaged couple. I'm sure they have conversations where they don't want everybody in their business. So it could have been something extremely private. So it happens to everybody. I really feel like it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, if she were to say, like, I don't want him filmed, I don't want him on camera at all, everything that has to do with Louis has to be excluded from the show, I'd be like, okay, Teresa, like, that's a bit much. Like, you are a housewife. It is your job. But to take one phone call, I don't think, the world should stop. Also, I wanted to chime in on Sheree.
Oh, go ahead.
So I think, and I heard like a little like extra tea. I don't know if I can't, corroborate it or anything, but I heard what the tea was. He wanted to get more money for appearing on the show. And because they couldn't come, Sheree's boyfriend, because they couldn't come to an agreement, he was like, oh, I'm on house arrest. All my scenes have to be filmed in my home. I don't want to get caught up with my parole officer. So Sheree's like, you're basically part of my storyline. If you can't come through, then I'm just going to have to push on to something else. And then last minute, as they were wrapping up filming for Atlanta, then they were able to come to some type of agreement. And now he's going to be in the last few episodes. This is what I hear. So I don't know. I think it's all just a money grab.
I have to give respect to Sheree, though, because she is the only housewife who has literally been let go from the franchise, returned as a full-time housewife, let go from the franchise, and returned as a full-time housewife. Like, she has some stamina. She, like, pops in. She reminds me, she gives me, like, I always like to call it our whirlwind segment on here when Ebony Dix pops in for, like, 2 seconds and she gives us her opinion and is like, I gotta go. Like, I feel like Sheree does that on Housewives, where she's like, hey, guys, I'm here to just, like, stir some shit up because they don't know if it's going to be a great season, but watch me go. And then she, like, pops off.
Sheree is always their ace in the hole, and they've had a lot of casting issues. So with her always being available, I know she didn't want to be a friend of the show. She was like, I'm not coming back unless I'm a full-time housewife. And with everybody else kind of just leaving and the shakeup and just kerfluffle that Real Housewives of Atlanta is right now, she finds herself holding a peach once again. I don't know. I mean, some people would say you're too available, but it's worked out for Sheree.
I agree. Tea Talk with Shaw and Team Catania, Sarah, Mocha, if you don't mind, stick around. I'm going to drop you down and bring you up with other panel members, and then I'm going to move on to the next subject just so we hit them all.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Sarah, feel better?
Yeah.
I'll be good. Don't you worry.
All right. We're sending you love.
I am worried.
Yeah, we're worried.
Well, feel better, Sarah.
We're all worried. What do you mean? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next subject only because, and I know this is going to upset a lot of people, and I'm sorry, we're still going through this season. It's like when I bring up Ramona, I know that I'm going to piss some people off, and it's not what I'm trying to do. So let me just give that disclaimer really quick. But Jenny Nguyen from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is clapping back at all of the fans right now because she received a lot of hate. Mind you, she is not on anyone's good list right now to begin with, but she received a lot of hate for throwing the glass. Now everybody has come to Mary's defense and said, Team Mary, not Team Jenny. Sorry, you're out, girl. Goodbye. And she decided to post on social media. I don't want to put words in her mouth. This is what she said. Yellow skin, slanted eyes, mocking my accent, Jenny from the hood, and finally, little Asian. That was my breaking point. I did not throw the glass at anyone. I threw it on the floor. I have to come to Mary's defense on this, and I'm going to bring you guys, I'm going to bring up people to chime in on this. But I've been in a situation because I was working in nightclubs in Los Angeles where people would get into fights and they would throw glasses and not necessarily try to hit people. But when you throw a glass in a party or a room full of people, cameramen, guests, it doesn't matter because even like we spoke about on DJ Richie Sky's channel, when you throw a glass, it is just that. It is glass. It shatters. It goes everywhere. It's extremely dangerous. So had the glass, even if you're throwing it on the floor, but in her direction, we all watched the same clip. It got pretty freaking close, and glass can fly at least 10 feet. I mean, it's a shit show. So I don't think it really, at that point, matters if you threw the glass directly at her. Yes, that would be scarier and people would be a lot more pissed. But the point is, you threw the glass after just telling us that you broke your husband's ribs at one point with a remote, and you had to put yourself through anger management. I understand that the comments that Mary made, the yellow skin, slanted eyes, mocking her accent, Jenny from the hood, and calling her little Asian. First of all, that's all completely disrespectful, and that it shouldn't have even been said. She shouldn't have said any of that. But it's one of those things like 2 wrongs don't make a right. That doesn't mean you could just go out. If I had, taken out my anger or whatever frustration on every single person who has said something bad to me, I would probably be in a jail cell right now. You can't just react to people and give them that moment. And for Jenny, I think what she thought in her mind, because I've seen it with Vanderpump Rules, where the producers sit down and they're at the finale party and they're like, this is not productive. Like nothing is happening. For example, this past season on Vanderpump Rules, producers, Lala Kent came out and said in an interview that producers actually went up to her and said, we need you, nothing's happening. We need you to walk up to James and tell him that Sheena and Brock were trying to get married on his weekend. We need some sort of uproar. So they like to stir up the chaos. And I'm sure that Jenny, someone got in her ear, like, Jenny, if you want to be on next season, we need a moment. And that's exactly what she thought she was trying to do. But throwing a glass in someone's direction is not the moment that we're looking for. That is just cringe. I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys up. I need opinions. Welcome back, Philly Diva. Hello, Georgia. Hi, Bernice.
Hey.
Hey. All
Hey,
right.
Jordan. Hey, Philly. Love y'all.
Hi. Good morning. Wow, that energy in the morning. You and I could take over the world. Listen to that energy.
Ooh, yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to bring up some other callers here in a minute, and I will rotate everyone. I promise. I'm going to keep it to 4 right now and then get the opinions and then bring up more. But I'll start with you, Bernice, because you've been patiently waiting. What are your thoughts on this, please?
Okay, I'm not going to say her name, but Sailor Moon can kick rocks. Because you came there with an agenda. When Mary came in there and she gave you no reaction, you got even madder. Because the look on your face when Mary walked past you and didn't acknowledge you. What, she not gonna speak to me? She don't like you. You don't like her. Why should she speak to you? Come on, put on your big girl panties. Come on now. And then you say she gonna mess up my scene, so I gotta do something. That's why she threw the glass.
I have to pick up my jaw off the floor. Hold on.
Right?
Listen, she took it right out my mouth because I was coming for her. Girl.
Ooh.
I mean, what else is there to say? But Miss Bernice has said it all.
Okay, Philly.
Not like that.
Now, I want to be clear about this too. Just because it's 2 wrongs, right? You can't talk about somebody's ethnicity, and you make the derogatory comments that you're making. For sure, 100%. Mary, can we at least agree Mary was wrong on that? But also
100%.
throw in, I feel like Mary was in a position where you're talking about her husband, you're talking about her family, you're accusing her of infidelity, you're talking about her church, which is her livelihood, you're digging into all of these things. And when you back somebody into a corner, they're going to let you know. Okay. And for Mary, I thought she did an incredible job on the finale of disengaging. Like Miss Bernice just said, Mary was like, I don't have time for you. I don't want to talk to you. And if she doesn't want to talk to her, be friends with her, that is her prerogative. She's allowed to stand in that. I don't think that should trigger you to the point where you pick up a legit glass and you're like that's, that's crazy.
Right. You took it to a whole nother level now. Now, like in my favorite scene from Harlem Nights, now I gotta cut you.
Yeah. Oh. Because here's the thing. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, you can't. I'm not saying, y'all know how I feel about that lady. You know, Miss Bernice, you calling her Sailor Moon? That's just how she's going to be referred to from this day forward.
I don't think you can refer to her as Sailor Moon.
I don't know if that's okay, but it was funny as hell. I'm
It
sorry.
was
Wait.
funny. Okay.
I'm not gonna
That
say
was
it because it's not okay, but it was funny.
It was funny. It's not okay. But Jenny, I think she's right. She came in there with an agenda, and every housewife does. Every housewife comes in there with an agenda to make themselves known as one persona or another, some kind of caricature of themselves. With that being said, Jenny's caricature of herself is very toxic and violent.
Exactly.
With being said, Mary saw that coming and disengaged from the door. She's like, I just don't like you. Like, and there's really, and it was something about her being her, or maybe she read the racist vibes. I don't know, but she never was here for Jenny. And that gave Jenny, I don't want to say the ammunition that she needed, but that gave her the storyline that she needed to have conflict with someone, to engage with someone. And Mary just wasn't here for it. Mary will engage when she wants. And when she comes for you, she'll tell you, when I don't come for me, because I will send Jesus for you. Like, she is coming with everything she knows and will do. And I'm not saying that it is always right. But that is, you back somebody in the corner, that's just what's going to happen. Don't poke the bear and tell the bear how to respond. I tell people that all the time. I will for a certain amount. Don't F with me. Don't come for me unless I send for you.
Okay. With a twirl.
Here's my thing.
Go ahead.
Here's my
Georgia,
thing.
I'm gonna let you give your opinion, and then I'm gonna rotate the panel just to get some more insight on this. But give it to us.
Jenny took every opportunity she could this season to go after Mary, not just in this finale party. You got to remember, the first time they got into it, she came out of nowhere on the ski slopes and was like, girl, you need to hush and da-da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. Like, that was the first time. And then every incident after that, anything that Mary has said, she's had an opinion, she's had a response, and she's had a certain level of vitriol. And to know now for a fact that she's gone through this entire season with a blatant racist undertone to why she's gone after her, it makes the throwing the glass that much more pointed. Because if you remember the moment when they called out Mary about this whole thing, Meredith was like, well, I don't know if it's offensive, but I wouldn't have said it. Nobody has had smoke for Meredith yet. Nobody has said anything to Meredith about that being like, hey, that's not cool. Why would you say that that's not offensive? Hey, Meredith, how you doing? But like, that wasn't cool to say either, ma'am. Like, but we're all looking at Mary like she's crazy, but yet she came in that party and gave that woman nothing. She paid her dust. She had nothing for her. We have nothing to talk about. I told you at the last time I saw you, I don't like you. What do we need to say? Why do I need to come in and say hey to you? There's nothing to be cordial about, especially when every time I see you, you attack every word that comes out of my mouth. No.
Okay. Georgia, Bernice, Philly Diva, if you don't mind, hang on. I'm going to go ahead and bring up some other callers to see if everyone agrees with this or if we have some different opinions.
Okay.
All right. I think I still have to pick up my jaw on the floor, guys. So if it's not attached to my face, that's probably why. It's on the floor. And it's crawling around somewhere. I don't know where the hell it went. It's not here. Whew! Okay. Let's bring up some more callers. Hi, Nina.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Team Catania. Hi, Mike. Hi, Trish.
Hello.
Okay, I'm going to start with Nina here because Nina's on for the first time today. Good morning, Nina.
Good morning.
I want to pick your brain on this, on Ginny Wynn's post about not throwing the glass at her.
I think she's reaching and trying. At this point, we already know what it is with Jenny, so I don't really have much to say on that.
Okay. And then
Mhm.
go ahead.
No, sorry. I just wanted to comment on Sheree and the whole Tyrone situation. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember, but remember that huge scene when Sheree and Nene were fighting? Sorry, I'm very congested, guys. I sound so gross.
No, you don't sound congested at all.
But anyways, there was a scene where they fought, and there was a Tyrone guy at the time. He was like a club promoter or something, and he was going to get Sheree into some party. And Nene was like, call Tyrone. And they called him. And then at the reunion, he also had a little bit of a storyline of that season because he claimed to Andy, he spoke to Andy and he said, yeah, Nene wants me. She follows me around. She's been wanting me. The reason why she has such contention with Sheree is because I told Nene she's not my type and I'm kind of talking to Sheree. So I just feel like Tyrone is sleazy. He's been doing this for years. He's been trying to get on the show. Like, you just got out of jail. Like, that's not really a good look for Sheree. Like, she's a woman who has, like, you know what I mean? She has her means. She has her, like, career on TV and stuff. I feel like, why are you with someone who went to jail for scamming? Like, do you not vulnerable to that? Like, do you not think he'll try and scam you? I'm just really confused.
I mean, I don't know. I think people can come out of, I definitely think people can come out of jail and, you know, pave a better path for themselves. And, you know, if they've done the work and they've done their time, then, you know, okay, it's a possibility for sure. But for Sheree in this situation, I did not understand her staying in a relationship for a couple of years with this man that she knew briefly before and then sort of started their relationship while he was serving time. I didn't really understand it because Sheree, I always looked at like, you could have anybody.
Exactly. That's my point. And it's like, your kids are even telling you, like, come on, man. Like, you could have anyone, mom. Like, you're a bad bee. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you chiming in on the Sheree stuff. And then also, I understand that there's not a lot of people don't have much to say about the Jenny and Mary stuff. But Mike, I'm going to let you chime in on this too. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, as far as Jenny goes, I really think it was a last-ditch effort to try and do something for that second season. I can see her point in the sense that for most of the season, Mary did kind of ignore her. Anytime Jenny said something, she was ignored. I think there's a reason behind that. I think Mary did sense, you know, there was something more to Jenny that most of us probably didn't know at the time.
Right.
So, and when she was doing it, I didn't feel bad either. Jenny kind of had, during the season, for me, she kind of was annoying.
What, you didn't feel bad?
What's that?
When who was doing what you didn't feel bad?
When Mary was ignoring Jenny throughout the season, I didn't feel bad.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if it makes me look bad to say this, but Jenny to me was kind of an annoyance throughout the season. So every time Mary did it, I was like, yeah, good. You know, someone's, you know. But I can understand maybe at the end of the season, she was just so fed up. She threw who knows? I'm not justifying that violence, you know, but if we're going to do it for Jenny, we should do it across the platform. I mean, there have been other housewives on other shows that have thrown glasses and haven't got nearly the flack for it. You know, namely Lisa Rinna on Housewives of Beverly Hills.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, so we do have to.
That was epic when she threw it.
I did too. She did go for the throat first, if you remember that.
Yeah, she did.
She did. She swiped to try and like choke her out.
She's not. She looked crazy. Jenny had crazy eyes.
And I do think there's more going on there too. She said, let's not talk about the husband. And then she had that strong a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
There's something definitely going on with the husband.
1,000.
I think we all agree with you, Mike, on this one. And by the way, I want to say this too, for Mike and Nina both calling in. If you ever have a different opinion, that is 1,000% okay. I mean, not everyone in the live chat is going to agree with you, but I don't want really everybody to have the same opinion on here because it would be. I think it's good to have these conversations where we don't all agree on the same thing. So. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you.
Teresa's
I've been watching you for a while, and I know what it is with your channel. It's a good time. I know that everybody's respectful, everybody can have different opinions.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I love that about this community.
Hey, thank you, Nina. Hey, guys. Wow, this is a great way to wake up this morning. All right, Trish, I'm going to let you chime in on this. What were your thoughts? And then I'm going to let Krista end us off on this subject.
Okay, great. Just very quickly, I think I've made it clear that aside from Mary's kookiness, which I can enjoy, I did not like Mary. I thought she got away with a lot of things that other people have not been able to get away with and shouldn't be able to get away with. And I'm not sure why. I think some folks were afraid of her or to call her out. But the thing that I noticed was that when Jenny walked into the party, she was on a 10 from the jump. Right. I got the feeling that she was itching for a fight even before she got snubbed. I don't know whether the producers got into her ear or she'd gotten herself worked up, getting ready for the party, thinking about all of the things that had occurred during the season, you know, that were upsetting to her. But it was clear to me, even when she walked in, that she was itching for a fight. She was going to find a way to create some kind of drama with Mary. And the other thing I just wanted to chime in about this channel and the mods, and one of the reasons I wound up here, I think I first saw you, Adam, on another channel maybe a year ago. And for reasons I won't get into, I stopped watching that channel, switched over to another channel. And the first time I wrote something on the chat board, I got yelled at for using capital letters. And I was so horrified. I thought, oh, you know, they were like, if you do it again, you're blocked or banned.
I always put my messages in all caps. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I do too. I'm like,
well, and this person was actually, the podcaster I was watching was trying to think of a word. He couldn't remember something. And so I typed in all caps, you know, ingredients or whatever it was he was trying to remember.
Ingredients.
Right? Ingredients. So, anyway, after I got yelled at, I thought, well, that was rude. I didn't like that. And so I found your channel. And the very first time I wrote in, every single one of the mods welcomed me. You know, hello, Trish. We're so glad you're here. And I thought, oh, I have found my family.
Hey.
So, right? So I just wanted to give the mods a shout out and say that.
Yes.
Right? Because they were, not only did I not get yelled at, they welcomed me. So, yeah.
I mean, I understand this too. All caps can come off as yelling and distracting. And I always put, like, I type in all caps all the time. I don't know why I do it, but I just do it. And I also kind of want to add to this conversation too, you know, like I've had so many people reach out to me who will be joining us when we go on our 3-city tour in April with Zach. Los Angeles, Nashville, New York. And people have said, Adam, like, I'm coming, but I don't really know anybody going. And I'm like, no, everyone is going there for the same universal thing. Like everyone's a part of both of our communities. So which by the way, we have a huge announcement today at 12:15, but everyone's a part of these communities. So when you go there, I feel like it's going to be such a pleasant surprise to see how many people you recognize from the live chats or how many people you talk to, but you've never seen them face to face. And you're going to be like, wow, that's you. I mean, of course we're going to recognize the callers on the panel, but yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate that, because when I started my channel, there was so much, it was kind of the silver lining in some weird effed up way during the pandemic. And there was so much going on out in the world, and there was a lot of negativity. And I know it's easy to come on. I remember I did an interview with Perez Hilton, who told me my longevity is like this. And I'm like, Perez, no offense to you, which by the way, he used our whole interview as an infomercial, never again. But no offense to Perez, you were nasty to people, and you love to be nasty to people, and you love to rip on people's looks and how they acted. And sometimes we don't even know if everything you were saying was true. Of course, you're not going to have longevity when you're that's honestly, sometimes it comes off like hateful. So when I started this, that was not the goal. So I really appreciate people who noticed that. That's all.
Yeah, Yay. Doing a great job.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
We appreciate you.
Woo, woo. That's the whole reason I stay. That's the whole reason I stay, because obviously, like, I had the same situation. I was getting yelled at for the caps, and I'm like, it's in my delivery. I understand it looks like grammatically effed. I get that, but I was like, man, like, it's just Like, it's just like, it's not yelling. Just my point, I guess, because when you're from Jersey, you think it in your head, you want to type it the way it sounds. So when I start to do the caps, it's when I'm getting louder. And then people are like, that is so annoying. I got a headache. I can't even read. Like, my posts were getting so many comments. Like, it's so annoying. I can't stand when she posts. They're so long. And she just keeps on talking. And I'm like, what is wrong with my delivery? They're like, it's the caps and your grammar. And I'm like, man.
Yeah,
and that was the West Coast podcast person too, so I get it now.
That's another thing too, being on here, and I learned it over like the last year and a half, because before I didn't. I mean, if you go on my Instagram, I posted once a year, and I really stayed off social media because I had a social, like a life that I was kind of involved in LA, and I was just always with my friends, so I didn't really feel the need to post anything because those were the people I hung out with. And coming onto YouTube, I learned so much because there are so many people who love to give a nasty opinion, and I call them keyboard warriors, but they come on, and I've received everything from they hate my voice to my teeth to my skin to my face. Like, I've gotten it all. And at first I used to really take it to heart. And I had a friend who asked me, we were at a bar one time, and she was going through my comments because I left my phone on the counter or on the bar when I went to the bathroom, and she's like, Adam, this is terrible. And I was like, I don't read it. Aww. And she's like, but it's not just me, it's everybody. It's not, I'm not a victim of it. Everybody receives nasty comments. I mean, especially if you're going to put yourself out there, not everyone's going to love you. Same thing with Housewives. Not everyone loves them. So, sure. But I do appreciate the opinions, Nina, Trish, Mike, and also Krista. And thank you guys for the kind words. We're about to wrap this up because we have another live coming up, but I'm going to go ahead and drop us down and bring up a few other people to end us off. Thank you. Mike, again, we appreciate you joining us. Nina, love to hear from you. Thank you. Trish, it's always a pleasure. And Krista, we see each other. Okay.
I know.
Hi, guys. I have a quick question.
Hey, guys. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Krista, did you dye your hair darker?
No, I just took my extensions out.
Oh, okay.
I put them in like almost every day, so sometimes I just don't make it on time. And
isn't it nice when we notice the little things like that?
I know. I was like,
I noticed everything. Listen, I noticed that Krista changed her hair. Trish, I noticed you always have your fireplace going, so cozy. You get me so like.
Aww.
And your hair is always fabulous too. It's always like blown out. Like it's.
Oh, you're so sweet. I've actually got very curly hair.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Let your natural curls flourish, girl. I love it.
Well, one of these days I'm going to be, one of these days I'll show up with the curls. I don't know. It might take up the entire screen. It grows. So.
You remind me of Eileen from Housewives, from Beverly Hills Housewives today.
I only have one curl on my head, and it's like that Superman curl that's like right here, and it just like curls up, and I always have to like brush it back. I'm not even going to show you guys, but my mom used to always make fun of me for it because it comes down like this, and the rest of my hair is just perfectly straight. And I'm like, well, how the hell did that happen?
Oh my God, you're like a Disney prince.
God,
there once was a girl with a curl, and when she was good, she was very, very good. But when she was bad, she was horrid. Do you remember that poem?
No, maybe I'm that girl.
Could be that girl.
All right, Nina, Krista, Trish, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We're sending you all the love on this beautiful Wednesday, and hopefully you guys will be around at 12:15.
See you later.
Announcement.
Bye, love you guys.
Bye.
It's a Jersey announcement, right? What's that?
Jersey. We need you for that one.
I know.
All right, guys, we're about to wrap this up. Adam, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I've never heard that poem. Adam is way too young to remember that poem. Guys, I like giving rhymes and bars, not always reading them. But that's something about Georgia. Don't give me the face. You've never heard me. We could do a battle. We could do a rap battle because I'm telling you, I spit them out. And I also wrote a whole book that was in a rhythmic tone. Okay. Janelle, you're giving me the face too? I'm telling you. I'm not saying I'm Eminem, but I'm telling you.
Good morning, darling. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Look at Philly Diva giving me the face too. Philly Diva, guys, you're underestimating me.
Listen, if you're Eminem and you haven't told us, I think this is the time to show us your skills.
I'm not Eminem, but I'm saying like sometimes when I'm on the phone and I'm just driving, or if I'm sitting there in the car, I don't want to listen to music. I like to turn on something for like background, and I like to just kind of go in. It's like it's therapeutic for me. Fun
I love
fact,
it.
nobody
I
knows
love
this,
it.
but I do it every day. Philly Diva's giving me the face. Georgia Carolina's giving me the face. Bernice is giving me an emoji face.
Oh
Mike
my
is like, I don't know what
God.
the hell you guys have going on. And poor Sarah is like, I'm still stuck in this hospital.
Why
Okay.
is she in the hospital? I heard that earlier, but I had to go to a meeting. So I was just like, what happened?
Oh, I'm
Is
going to
she
bring up Sarah
okay?
to help us end off this conversation.
Are you okay, darling?
Yes, I am fine. I just couldn't breathe, and now they want to run every test in the world, and they've already taken blood, and then they've taken more again. So I'll just be here for a little while.
Well, I hope
as
you recover.
Well, I just think each doctor's coming in and getting their check so they can, bill the insurance. But I shouldn't say that. I have to still see some, so I don't want word getting around that I'm being a bitch.
No. And we're here to distract Sarah. We're
Yes.
here to distract Sarah. So, and Joe, are you in the room?
I am.
Oh, okay.
I just want to say
All right.
bonjour.
All right.
And I also just want to say, we really love to have Mike on the live panel. I'm sure a lot of other people were so excited to have Mike on. Tinsley's opinions.
Joe, do you have a crush? Is that why you're advocating for Mike?
No, I'm just here being
You are messy, Adam.
being hospitable. I'm here
If you guys are
because,
going to come at
I
me
like
for my rhymes,
welcoming
then
new
I'm going to make it.
subscribers.
I'm opening the floodgates. No one is safe. Okay.
You know what? I echo Joe's opinion. It was nice to have both Nina and Mike. And I don't think that I've said, that it's nice to have Trish, but I feel like she has had some really great points. So those are three people that are on the newer side that have been up. And I know we've had a couple others. So I enjoy getting to meet some new people and hear some new opinions. So I agree with Joe. Don't just ignore Adam.
Yes,
and if the color happens to be an eye candy, then why fight it, right?
Yeah, bonus.
First of all, I just want to say too, especially when Georgia comes on, all I see in the live chat is the hair, the cheekbones, the nails, this. And I'm like, guys, we're talking about Bravo. Georgia just needs like an OnlyFans account at this point. She would make so much
Do not
money.
be jealous, baby. You are beautiful too.
I love it. I love it.
Jordan, and Jordan, I'll also pay for the PPV. Just saying.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get back to this.
Bravo now.
I don't know where this is going.
Bravo, effing bravo. Okay.
Bravo, effing bravo.
I'm
Did
gonna
you
have
watch
you
the
guys
interview the
help
other
me
day
end
with
this
Jack
off with
Lewis?
the conversation of Ginny Wynn's post. I understand that it is a controversial subject. But to help us end off, and I'm going to get the opinions and I'm going to drop us one by one so we can go get ready for our next show. I will start with you, Sarah, because I know that you're in the hospital and somebody could walk in at any moment. What is your opinion on the Ginny Wynn post?
Okay, she threw the glass at her. And honestly, I'll be honest, I don't like Mary or Ginny.
Okay.
Mary, I feel like is mean and does a lot of mean things, says a lot of mean things to a lot of people, and has said some very problematic things. Ginny sure as hell has done some problematic things. Yes, girl, you threw the glass at her. You may have thrown it at the floor because you chickened out, or you felt like it would be better to like slice her legs open. I don't know. You would probably have pissed her off more if you threw it on her Chanel or whatever she was wearing, because I'm sure she probably would not like, what did she call it? Bad tasting water on her, super expensive clothes.
Right.
So, that was maybe a missed opportunity if you wanted to piss her off. But yeah, no, neither of them. And I think that in this case, Mary had the right. She was trying to she didn't want to have a conversation with Whitney, but the conversation was between her and Whitney. And then she wanted to disengage. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to let the mouse go. So that's my opinion.
I mean, listen, that's fair. And that's, again, Not everyone's going to share that opinion, but I love that you're able to come on here and share that. And also, Sarah, take care of yourself. We love you. We appreciate you. And thank you for calling in. We hope you get better.
Yes.
Yes, I will be fine. If they let me leave now, I probably would, but they don't.
No,
they don't like
you
that.
need to do the full listen. You in there, so they're gonna be charging you. So you better get the full enchilada. You better.
Yeah, you know what? I probably won't need to see a doctor for like another 5 years by the time they're done with me. So
Right. You
yeah,
gotta make sure everything is a-okay, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. Good point. So, I actually asked my sister-in-law about Nashville, and I was talking to her like, what are some of the things that would be different? She was like, yeah, there's not much diversity here, and there's not much Tex-Mex. I was like, ooh, we need to look for a different place. So,
okay, good to know. Good to know.
but it is growing a lot, and so I think maybe in a few years, Nashville could be considered, but not right now.
All right.
And
thank you, Sarah.
Yeah. So more of my 2 cents,
No, we
right.
appreciate it. And Sarah, we're sending you all the love and thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. Joe Mendoza.
Yep.
What are our thoughts?
Yeah, and next time, guys, I'll also paint my avatar just to keep up with you with y'all's makeup. But as far as Jenny is concerned, I honestly don't want to give her any more airtime than we're giving her. Like like anything that she reacts or responds to on social media, I think the more that we kind of just forget about her into oblivion, the better. Because I don't think, based on her previous actions, that she was really ever remorseful of what she's done. So I think giving her the platform to actually talk about her, I don't know. I'm just not for it in general. I do also think that they're both wrong, I think, but I also think that just name calling in general, like Sailor Moon, it's just not really helping anybody. Let's just stop name calling in general because that ain't cute. I think with everything else in that scene, I just hope that someone within that cast actually went and supported her. It seemed like Seth was
Just
the only
Seth.
one who did it. So that was really sad, which made me really understand why Mary doesn't even want to join the reunion, because it is a two-sided thing. Like, Mary doesn't want to engage and everybody else are tired of trying to engage Mary into the group. So I think it was a good decision for that natural falling out, but it is what it is. I will miss Mary. I will not miss that other person. But looking forward to what they're doing in the next season, especially in that Arizona trip that I'm surprised Jen was in, because I thought she can't leave Utah. But
okay. Joe, well, we appreciate you. And also, a lot of people agreed with you in the live chat of we don't need to necessarily call names when we give an opinion. I'm still picking my jaw up off the ground, and I think that she's
not another Brielle situation here, Adam.
No. Joe, we appreciate you. We're happy that we got to give you some eye candy today. Thank you for calling in, and congratulations on making it on Watch What Happens Live.
Thanks. I hope that Andy gives you the shout out that you deserve too, boo. I'm just saying.
Someone finds them DMs and tell him.
I mean, listen, I've tried. If it hasn't happened the last 3 times that would have been appropriate, then at this point, what, Andy? I have nothing but love for you, man. I don't know but it's okay. It's okay, because I have another banger of an interview coming over the next month that's going to drop his jaw.
Yes.
So we'll see. We'll see if we're mentioned then.
And I love your colored shirts.
Thank you. Except the problem is I'm like sweating like a maniac through it. So now I have to go change back into my black. I hate this.
Can you give us a hint?
No.
Wait, are they on the East Coast? Are they in the South? Are they
I
on the
can't
West
give you
Coast?
any hints. Well, and I never like to, I always say this too. I never like to share who the person is until I get the interview, because then I don't want to tease it and look like I'm lying to everyone. And it's really hard to wrangle some of these people. Like, it's really hard to like get them and be like, focus, what day you're okay with this day. Do you want to do it online or do you want to do it in person? And this particular one, I need to be there in person. I told Jason, I was like, I have to fly out. Jason's like, you're not flying out by yourself. I'm going with you, bitch. I was like,
Okay,
okay.
so we now know it's none of the Real Housewives of Miami.
None of
You
the
know what,
Miami.
Janelle?
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? Jason always says that Adam likes to spill the tea, but if you want to get some unofficial tea, just listen to some of Zach's YouTube and Instagram, because he tends to spill the tea a lot quicker than Adam does.
Okay, Joe.
Oh my
God! What the hell? You just come up here to shade me?
No, I'm more shading Zach because he spills the tea more than you do.
Listen, we first of all love Zach. We actually have some conversations that, where he allows me to be privy to upcoming information that's going to pop out. Like, he comes out with some real Tisa tells type shit where he knows and she knows before everyone knows. And when we talk about it, he's like, I just make sure that you don't mention it. And I have to admit, he really blows my mind a lot, because we've been talking a lot more ever since we decided to do this tour together. And he really is. He's a wealth of knowledge and information on these women, and he gets a lot of tea. So I'm not mad at it. Zach is doing the damn thing.
I love Zach. He's a boss bitch.
Boss bitch. With that, Joe, and your little diss, I'm going to diss you by saying, get off my screen. No, we love you, Joe.
Bye.
We love you, Joe.
Bye, Joe.
All right, Janelle, we went over the hour and 30 minutes, but I want you to help wrap us up really quick so we can go get ready for the next show. Guys, I pinned it in the top of the live chat to join Zach and I for our next big announcement. We're announcing some of our Bravo Lebs who are joining us on stage, so hopefully you'll be there at 12:15 p.m. Eastern. Janelle.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like Joe. I don't want to give a certain person any more, airtime. She's got enough. So bonjour, au revoir. You're good, girl. You did throw that glass at Mary, and listen, I am not the biggest fan of Mary. I'm going to miss her dinner party, because they were, oh my god, they were just like, it was like going to Bluestone Manor on New York. It was just like, I am looking forward to this crazy kooky party.
I mean,
like, will you give me Louis Vuitton AirPods? I'll show up for that. You know what I'm saying? But you did throw the glass. If I was married, now listen, I am a person. I was raised in the church too.
Preach.
But I don't even think Jesus could hold me back from knocking somebody out if they threw a glass at me. I'm just saying. I'm gonna need the Holy Trinity. I'm gonna need God, Jesus Christ, the Holy Ghost, and maybe some Adam and Eve and Noah and Jonah and the whale, all of the above, to keep me from whooping somebody's behind from throwing a full glass at me. Okay? Because you cut me, it's a wrap.
Okay.
But I'm glad that Mary did not respond to that person. But am I gonna miss them? I'm gonna miss more of like Mary's non-ignorant antics.
Okay. I agree with that.
Also, you were talking about Real Housewives. I don't want Nashville, because if it's gonna be anything like Dallas, I'm out. I'm like, okay, I can't do it. I tried Dallas. I really tried.
Yeah, it was the most lackluster. But would you do Chicago or Honolulu?
I would do Chicago if it's one, actually diverse. Two, it's not centered around Tinsley. Tinsley can be a person on there.
No, Tinsley cannot come back.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, what is Chicago besides their great hot dogs and their deep dish pizza? What would they hold? Would they have hands on the hip like Jersey?
Yeah, why not?
Would they do that?
Yeah.
I guess. Okay. But thank you, Claire. Bonjour. But if Chicago's diverse and it wasn't centered around Tinsley, yes, I would watch. I am more interested in Honolulu, because I like, who doesn't love Hawaii? And also it's sun, it's beautiful. Also, I heard what Philly Diva said earlier. It is expensive as hell.
Yeah.
Like, first off, Hawaii is one of the most expensive states to live on. People don't realize that.
No.
Like, it's hella expensive. And that's why, like, it's good to go there for a vacation, but if you want to actually live there, you're gonna have to put up a pretty dollar to just to live there. But I would love to see it. I want them to hold up pineapples, right? Pineapples?
Oh, maybe pineapples.
Could it be pineapples?
It could be a pineapple.
Imagine my head wrap's yellow, so like imagine like a pineapple, like
or like a rooster.
Rooster.
Yeah, because they have all the. I'm thinking of Moana. Okay. The roosters running around. When I went to Hawaii, there was roosters everywhere. There was a ton of. Okay, get off of me, Janelle. It's still early. George is giving me faces. Philly Diva with the face. I can't win today. Honestly, Janelle, you can host the rest of this show. You win.
Listen, I thought you were going to say like bananas, but hi everybody, welcome to Up and Janelle. Bonjour. How are you? Okay. I've co-opted the space. I've taken over. What's up? Me and my yellow head wrap. How are you, everybody?
Maybe I should have you come on and take over when I go out of town and stuff. That'd be great.
Like, hello, everybody. Oh, that would be a fun old time. Oh, thank you, Rosemary. I'm trying today. I had a morning meeting and I didn't want to be on camera. Then they put me on camera. So I was like, oh, I better put a head wrap on because my hair be looking out. So.
All right. Well, with that, Janelle, we appreciate the hell out of you. We are almost at an hour and 40 minutes. We are coming back at 12:15. I'm going to go get some stuff ready and we love you. Thank you for calling.
I love you too, boo-boo. And also sending positive vibes to Jason. I texted him. It's like positive vibes. I know this week is probably extremely difficult. But we can't wait to see you back next week. You and Adam and your love fest.
Okay, I'm done with you.
Listen, you love that man. Love that man. Because I bet you, let me tell you something. If somebody was looking at him and sliding to him into his DMs, like people were sliding to your DMs and you cut them, like you're like, oh, no, not today, hunty. Okay, if people were sliding to Jason's DMs, you'd be like, nah, it's about to go down. I bet you could fight. I bet you could get scrappy at him.
Okay. I'm done with you, Janelle. I do love a good face palm, though. I'm good with the face palm, but okay.
Listen, nobody mess with Jason or you're going to have to deal with Adam. Meow.
Meow.
Meow. You were doing so well for so long, and then you went back to your old ways.
Okay. We'll see you in the next vid.
Meow. Meow.
Meow.
You sound like a dead cat. Meow. Come on. Ew.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. I can't.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for all of our super chat, super stickers. Thank you to our amazing callers, the ones who we love to bring up every day, and then the ones who were new. We really appreciate the hell out of everyone. Again, we are coming on at 12:15 to recap Real Housewives of New Jersey. And once we get over 400 people in the room, let's just say we will give our big announcements. Also, if you guys didn't catch New York, well, we'll do the announcements later. Don't forget to smash that like button. If you haven't gotten subscribed, get subscribed. I'm going to go pick up my jaw, and I'll see you guys so very soon.